Good day, Speed Gamers. Today, we will do an in-depth review of ROG Phone 6 Pro Air Triggers. What is Air Trigger? Air Trigger is a virtual button that you can assign anywhere from your phone screen that can simulate touch. These air triggers are controlled by a physical button. In this video, we will talk about what is special in ROG 6 Pro air triggers. Number 1, it uses ultrasonic button that can be partitioned or can detect gestures. Number 2, it has motion control. Number 3, if you have Aeroactive Cooler, you will have additional 4 air trigger buttons. Fourth, and the best, it has multiple simulation, not only touch. Now, let's have a deep dive on air trigger control and sensitivity. You can see that there are multiple gesture settings that we can do. The normal air triggers are the tap setting. This is the most common setting of air triggers where you need to tap the ultrasonic button to activate the air triggers. Now, let's go to dual partition button setting. This is something special on ROG 6 and ROG 6 Pro, where an ultrasonic button can be partitioned into two. Here, on my left, I have an outer button and an inner button. Same on my right. Also, we have a swipe setting. Here, you can swipe left or right to a single ultrasonic button to activate two separate air triggers. Also, we have slide settings, where you can slide on your air trigger left or right on both sides. We will discuss the difference of slide and swipe a little bit later. And now, the most special on ROG 6 or ROG 6 Pro are the dual control. It can be the combination of tap and swipe or a combination of tap and slide. Basically, on tap and swipe, you can control 3 separate air triggers on a single button. The first air trigger is when you tap the button. The second and third is when you swipe left or right. On tap and slide, it's like having a single air trigger and a simulation of sliding to your screen left or right. Another cool thing to control our air triggers on ROG 6 or ROG 6 Pro are the motion controls. In motion control settings, there are different gestures that you can do. Let's run it through. For example, tilt forward settings. If I tilt my phone forward, you can see that I can activate the air trigger. Let us just run through the other gestures that we can use to activate the air trigger, as it is really straightforward to use. We have the tilt backward, we have the tilt left, tilt right, turn left, turn right, shake your phone, move left, move right, and move forward. And of course, if you have your Aeroactive Cooler, you have additional 4 buttons to control an additional 4 air trigger. Now, let's talk about how we can assign the air triggers in-game. When you are already on your game, just swipe horizontally from the top left or top right of your screen to activate Game Genie. And then, click Air Triggers. By the way, you can have multiple profile on a single game for your air triggers. To create, just click the Add button and then give it a name. Let's start first with the ultrasonic buttons. When you turn it on, you will have the basic setup where you can tap on the left and tap on the right. Now, let me show you that you can do combination. Let's say on the left side of the ultrasonic button, you just want a basic tap option, and on the right, you want a dual partition. Now, you have 3 separate air trigger. Also, I can select swipe. Now, I have 4 air triggers. On the left, I can control it by swiping on the left and swiping on the right. On the right, It is dual partition, so I can click on the outer part and the inner part. And of course, the best part is the dual control. I can have tap and slide on the right and tap and swipe on the left. You can see on my left, I can control 3 air triggers by tapping it, sliding on the right, and sliding on the left. On my right, I have 1 air trigger button by tapping it and simulating slide on the screen by sliding on the ultrasonic button. Now, let us discuss what is the difference between swipe and slide. Let's start on swipe control. I assign the swipe right to reload button and swipe left to my inventory. If I swipe left, it will open my inventory and also close it. When I swipe right, it will reload my gun. Now, for slide. You can see that if I slide left, the screen moves left. And if I slide right, the screen moves right. So basically, swipe simulates a touch on the button, while slide simulates a finger that slides through the screen. For motion control, when you turn it on, you can add the gestures that you want to. For example, I will add tilt right and tilt left. You can see that I have additional 2 air triggers that I can control by tilting right and tilting left. You can be creative about it and use the motion gesture that you think that will help you on the game. And of course, last but not the least are the 4 cooler buttons. When you turn it on, you will have additional 4 buttons, which are R1, R2, L1, and L2, which you can be creative and assign to the button that you need it. Now, let us deep dive on button simulations. First, and the most common, is touch simulation. If you press the ultrasonic button, it will trigger a single action, like what you can see on the screen. What is special on ROG 6 and ROG 6 Pro is you can choose press to trigger dual action. If you choose it, you will have L1 and L2 that will be triggered at the same time if you press the ultrasonic button. Another special option is press and leave to trigger action separately. If you choose it, you have 2 air triggers. The one will be activated if you touch the ultrasonic button, and the other one will be activated if you lift your finger. You can also do an auto-repeat tap. Auto-repeat tap will activate the air trigger at a certain interval. For example, I assign the air trigger to my fire button. If I hold the ultrasonic button, it will do a repeated tap like this. By adjusting this option, you can choose how slow or how fast the repeated tap will be. Gyroscope aiming. This option will trigger the gyroscope aiming when you press the button like this. You can see that the red dot is moving as I move my phone. You can also assign macro on a specific button. To record a macro, go to your Game Genie and then go to macro and click add. For this example, we will create a macro where we will crouch and scope at the same time. To do it, just click record, tap the button, and then click stop. And then, just save it. Now that we already have a sample macro, we can assign it to a specific button. You can see that if I click the button, it will generate the macro. You can also assign a specific button to change between air trigger profiles as needed. And of course, Last but not the least is the shooting assist. For games like PUBG Mobile, it will help you to control your recoil. You can see on the screen that shooting assist simulates a downward movement to control your recoil. Of course, you need to adjust your ADS sensitivity to make it a perfect no recoil settings. By the way, I have a video on how to set up your sensitivity for zero recoil at all guns. You can check it here or in the link below. Please enjoy my sample gameplay on PUBG Mobile using the ROG 6 Pro Air Triggers. Okay. Here. Okay. Speech. We need to address. Okay. That's but still alive and I saw another one. Okay. Oh, I know where he is. Winner, chicken dinner.
We are number 1.
Yes, we are number 1. Okay. Oh, we got triple elimination. Nice.